Hello everyone, Zach Shaklina here with the Casual Conversation. I'm bringing a topic to you today called lumens per square foot. What are lumens? Lumens are your light bulb output to a point, is a way of understanding it. Again, I'm no electrician or total expert here, but what I will say is the lumens are something that has been more commonly used because of the invention of LED bulbs. And what does that mean? Well, previously, folks used to just go off the wattage of the bulb. For example, if you had a ceiling fan and it had 3 bulbs that were 60 watts in it, you would have times 60 times 3, that's going to be 180 watts in a given room. And you would want a given amount of watts per room to make sure it was bright enough and not super dark and dingy in there, and you wanted it bright. That was what folks used to use because everything was watt based, how much power it used, because if it used so much power, that means it put out so much power. Well, now we're all about conserving power, and now how efficient the power can be used. And that's where lumens per square foot has come about. It's really interesting. There's huge mathematical calculations. You can go about different wavelengths and AC, DC charge. There's tons of stuff. You can digress into it very drastically, very quickly. But bottom line, we're going to go very surface level here, and we're going to learn, hey, lumens per square foot, what's what? And more or less what they say is there is a given standard that's recommended, and again, recommended is a very broad word and very interpretive, but it is that it's recommended in the sense that they say you should have a minimum amount of lumens per square foot in a room to have it be bright. And they recommend different lumen square footage ratings per bedrooms or bathrooms or kitchens or living spaces. They are all at different levels. So for example, they say that places you're doing very specific tasks in, for example, in a kitchen, cutting things, you need a lot of lights. You want it to be brighter and or have the capability to be brighter. So that's where they will have a higher lumen scale for that. Then the next thing is, all right, well, I don't need so much light in a bedroom, for example. So they'll be slightly lower, and or vice versa for a living room. So they have a scale system. Funny enough, there's a number of home improvement stores that offer a scale system. When you go in, you can figure that out of what fits your lifestyle. As well, color will affect what the felt lumen per square foot is. So if it's a warmer cut, like a bright white stark, you may get away with like a lesser lumen count than if it was a tan warmer light, because it's more of a yellow, kind of not as stark bright. You might need more light as the color hue changes. Totally cool, totally random stuff. But the other thing that I most recently learned from a project was garage space is technically one of the highest lumens per square foot areas you may need light in. Even higher than a kitchen by like twice as much. And the reason is because they talk about, depending what you're doing in the garage, you need to have a lot of light to, one, rule out shadows. So the more light you have in a given area, the less likely there are to be shadows, because the light is refracting around off of walls, cars, shelving units. It's reflecting off of everything. And if there's an excess of light, then that allows for more reflecting, and in turn, less shadows. So nifty stuff. Again, the garage is supposed to be the brightest area when it comes to projects, and I think it has to do with their liability as well, where they're talking about, all right, what is the most likely thing that could hurt you? All right, in a kitchen, it's a kitchen knife. Maybe you get burned by a stove. Well, when you're in a garage, there's a potential for getting hurt by a vehicle, potential to get hurt by a skill saw, chop saw, drill, the whole 9 yards. There is a whole slurry of things that could hurt you in a garage when you kind of sit down and think about it, and hence why it makes sense that they say you should have a lot of light in the garage. So if you need any help or input on maybe a second opinion or being able to assist in finding some information on lumens per square foot, reach out to me. I'd be happy to provide you info. And again, that is our episode of Casual Conversation. Lumens per square feet. Kitchen and the garage are some of the highest amounts of light that you'll need in those rooms, specifically to achieve the best working environments. So, until next time, thanks for tuning in. Zach Shaklina out.